Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and in today's episode we're going to be doing a full test and review of the new Cold Steel SR1. So stick with me. Welcome back everybody, and thank you for sticking with me. Like I said, today we're going to be doing a full test and review of the brand new SR1 by Cold Steel. Now, a few things hit me right away about this blade is, one, I like it. This is a very utilitarian, very simple design. I can see right off the bat where a few people may not like it because it kind of feels like it's a fat handle, but as soon as I got this in hand, it fits really, really nice. I got medium to large size hands. And for an overbuilt, tanky kind of blade, this is not uncomfortable in any way at all. And something that I noticed right off the bat, it is a lot smoother than some of the actions that I have felt on other Cold Steel knives. Sometimes with the triad lock, it can be a little stiff. But even for this being a kind of the tankiest of tanks that Cold Steel makes, this one comes in a very close second in my opinion, and we're going to be jumping to some test footage here soon. But for $155 street price, which is not bad for this blade, and when I start running down the specs, is you have a 4.8 millimeter thick blade. I mean, that is a super style blade. I want to say that's 3/16 of an inch thick. You're actually getting CPM S35 VN, which is just absolutely ridiculous that you're getting that quality of a steel. I was very shocked that Cold Steel pushed this out for this little bit of money. Now, the knife I'm going to be comparing it to most often in this video is going to be against the 4MAX, because it's the only real tank, beefy, thick, hardy blades that Cold Steel makes right now. They're the tankiest. However, I love the utilitarian factor and the tough, overbuilt nature of the 4MAX. This is a knife that can just take a stupid amount of abuse and hang in there and not freaking flinch. However, the new SR1 is based off the SRK, which is the fixed blade knife that is issued to the Navy SEALs during budge training. It is a proven design. It's been on YouTube considerably. But a few things that I want to mention about the SR1 over the Cold Steel 4MAX is you're getting a very slight downgrade in steel. You're getting a significant weight drop. It's about 2.9 ounces less, which is for some people it's a full knife less. So it's going to be much more pocket friendly as far as the weight goes. You're still getting that stout overbuilt tank. It's only $155 and we're still getting a full 4-inch blade. So in my opinion, if you're looking for a no-nonsense blade that is going to basically be one of those knives that if you got into a really hairy situation and a folder was the only knife you had on you. Now, do we recommend doing hard tasks with a folder? No. But is it nice knowing that you could have one in a very screwed up situation? A surprise situation that all you have is your EDC and this is the only folder you have on you. I know a few people out there carry fixed blades, but that's neither here nor there. But what I want to do is take this thing out and see if it can hang with the brutal testing we did with the 4MAX. So let's go straight to the test footage. We want to go ahead and give the SR1 a workout because as far as I know, this is the first time this has actually ever been done on camera. Being a new blade, I really want to see how this blade performs, especially for the decent price point of $155, the S35 VN. I want to make sure that we're getting our money's worth. Now we're moving on to paracord, and it doesn't look like we're going to be doing a whole lot, but what I want to do is we really want to test this edge and get as many cuts out of this blade as possible. And by doing so, what that does is lets me know how the heat treat on a premium steel such as S35 VN is done by Cold Steel. Now, they did a great job with the 4MAX in CPM 20 CV. However, the street price on that is still a very hefty $350. That is not a cheap knife by any stretch of the imagination. So we're going to be going through this medium as quickly as we can to see if we start getting any snags, resistance, and so far throughout all this testing, and I know that you're like, oh god, he's cutting paracord for an hour, but it's doing a very, very good job overall. And I'm not upset with this knife. It's still cutting. Despite the hardy, thick nature of the blade, it's giving me exactly what I want for a utility knife. Now we move on to some seatbelt material. We have about 6 feet of it. And the good thing is, woo! With the premium steel and the fact that so far this is doing really well, if you get into a vehicle accident and you got this big old stout blade on you, so far from the factory, it's not like hair popping. However, I can't expect that. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't have a super stout, thick blade that can basically beat through and be tough and ready for anything, and then have like a hair popping razor sharp knife. However, this is adequately sharp for pretty much most tasks. So let's say we are using this at a work site and we want to see how it does breaking down boxes for us, because most people that carry folders use it for everyday tasks. Alright, so for fun, we want to test the penetration power of this, because we do know the SRK is pretty stabby. So we're just stacked up some cardboard from the stuff we just cut, and we're going to see how well we do. Ooh, it already kind of wants to go in. Woo! Oh my gosh, this thing went all the way, yeah, almost all the way through. It went through, wow, it went through every single layer. I foresee very minimal problems with this, but we got a nice piece of Texas hardwood, and we're going to test this tip and see how well it holds up. Wow. So overall, this tip is perfect. I'm gonna make sure you guys can see that. Look at that. That tip is flawless. So overall, this knife is actually performing decently well. Considering the fact that it is a very stout blade, I am very, very, very impressed by the cutting ability of this knife, because I thought we were gonna lose quite a bit of cutting power due to the fact. So I wanna go through and we'll do some push cuts. Not gonna lie, this will do the job, and it is no worse for wear. The edge is still fine, but like I suspected and I assumed, because of the fact the blade is so stout, you do lose a little bit of the what I would call the cutting and slicing capabilities of what a pocket knife normally can do. However, though, the performance, this is one of those jack of all trades knives. It's not going to be a master slicer, master cutter. It's not going to be a massive master tank. It's that nice, it's kind of like a Sherman. It's not the best at anything, but it's better than have an armored vehicle than just be rolling around with a pistol and a freaking minivan. Because 2x4 is a very common medium for things like blade sports, a lot of bladesmiths actually take 2x4s and do strength and edge testing with knives. So I want to test the overall locking mechanism of the Triad lock and see if it's as solid as it's supposed to be. This testing isn't necessarily it driving through the 2x4, it is actually putting stress on the locking mechanism of this particular knife. As you can see, that's where I'm putting a lot of the pressure and the stress on this knife, and that's mostly to decide if this can be used in an absolute emergency as a survival knife. So this is the third piece that we're whacking, and so far it has failed or split on us at all. Alright, so this is the final piece of wood that we're gonna baton with this knife. I feel we did a very good job testing the overall strength of the locking mechanism for this. And so let's go ahead and close it, open it. Not an ounce of freaking wiggle at all. The last and final test I want to do with this knife is see if I can actually start a fire, so this could be used as an emergency folding knife. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Holy moly, does this knife perform or what? Now, I knew in some retrospect that I was going to have a few difficulties in some aspects of cutting, like when we beefed up to the really heavy stuff, but if you look really carefully though to the push cuts we performed with this, it was still really clean cutting. So the edge is still nice and sharp, but because of the stout nature of the profile, you're gonna have a certain steepness of angle in that grind that you just can't get away from. However, for those people out there who love really big hefty blades, like the cold steel, the large Espada, you like the oversized extra large Recon 1, you like the extra large Voyager, you love the hefty duty of the Formax, but you want something that has premium steel, that can handle a lot of work, that has absolutely no give in it whatsoever. Like, this thing still has no blade play whatsoever, and the beautiful thing is it's still centered, still sharp. There are no deformations on this blade whatsoever. And I literally, like I said, I could not be happier with this thing. For me, only owning this for about a week and giving it a nice thorough workout, I'm very impressed overall with the well-rounded kind of jack-of-all-trades hefty duty knife that this thing offers for about 155 bucks. Now, I know there's going to be a few people out there who are still going to have their objections, like 155 is so expensive for a knife. I remember when cold steel was $60 and blah blah. I know, I get that, but times change and things evolve. However, you got to understand, I'm comparing the SR1 to the Formax. Now, the Formax is amazing. You get basically ultra premium everything. You get CPM 20CV, you get the titanium liners, you get the American G10, you have an ultra wide super big blade. I mean, you're getting basically the biggest bang for your buck humanly possible. This is the tank of all tanks. But if you want something that I dare say you could trust with your life in an emergency, keep in mind, I said emergency, not everyday usage, this knife, with the task that I gave it, I can definitely say that I can give this my thumbs up. This thing is doing tasks that folders should not be able to do. You should not be able to take a knife that has a pivot and locking system and smack it repeatedly on that lock. Now, do I recommend anyone ever go do that in any way, shape, or form? No. But I am here testing this blade and testing the quality. However, what I really want to know is I want you guys down to drop in the comments and tell me what you think of the new Cold Steel SR1. Personally, I like this blade. If you like big beefy blades that are full size, which is why I picked this one up for myself, I love the tanky nature. I do love the fact that you still get a premium steel of S35VN. We're getting basically almost a 3-ounce weight reduction from the Formax, but we're still getting very comparable performance and nice pedigree that we can come to expect from the SRK line, now being adapted to a folder in the SR1. And I understand you're not going to get the same slicing ability that you would get from like a Cold Steel Broken Skull, because this is a very thin profile blade. It's still really stout, got the triad lock. It's going to be a good slicer, but the heavy duty tasks, I do feel that I would snap the blade because there's just not enough steel on this blade. But that just about does it for now. If you like the test footage and you love the new SR1 and you're excited to see how this thing holds up in the long term, definitely throw this video a big thumbs up and share this out with your friends and family in your social media networks so we can keep growing, thriving, and making awesome videos for you guys. But that just about does it for now. I hope you guys have an absolute wonderful day. I'm out.